Assalamualaikum and selamat sejahtera. Today we are going to do PBT presentation about DNS and DHCP. This is my group member, me myself Muhammad Jamal Afiq and my group member Muhammad Nur Aiman. So this is the abstract. We have 22 pages of content. From page 3 to 8 we have structure of DNS. From page 9 to 13, we have apply DNS with Active Directory. From page 14 to 17, we have general DHCP functionality. From page 18 to 22, we have DHCP configuration standard in Windows Server. So I'm going to explain about structure of DNS. In a Windows Server environment, DNS is tightly integrated with Active Directory AD, making name resolution for internal resources smooth and secure. The key components for DNS are DNS Server Role, which is installed via Windows Server Manager and it handles name resolution. Next, we have DNS Zones. It handles logical portion of the DNS namespace hosted on DNS server. And last but not least, we have DNS Record, the entries within a zone that map host names to IP addresses and other data. So for the next part, I'm going to explain about zones in DNS. Zones define a portion of the DNS namespace that a DNS server is responsible for. There are four types of zones for DNS. The first one are primary zone. The description is the main editable zone file stored locally. The second one we have is secondary zone, a read-only copy of a zone used for redundancy or load balancing. Next, we have stub zone, which contains only info about name servers and as records of another zone used for faster resolution. And last but not least, we have Active Directory integrated zone. This zone stores the zone in Active Directory, allowing replication between DCs and secured updates. For the next part, we have common DNS record types. There are 7 types of DNS record. For the first one, we have A, which is called host. The purpose of A is to map hostname to IPv4 addresses. For example, we have www. It will change into computer language and change it into IPv4 192.168.1.10. For the next part, we have quadruple A, which is its purpose is to map hostname to IPv6 address. Its purpose is same as A, but it does it with IPv6. For example, we have www. It converts it into FE80 semicolon semicolon 1. For the third one, we have CNAME, which is an alias for another domain name. For example, we have mail. It converts the mail into mail.com or mail.google.com or etc. Next, we have MX. MX purpose is to exchange server for a domain. For example, if we type at, it converts it into mail.company.com. Next, we have PTR. PTR is used to reverse DNS lookups. For example, we are searching 10.1.168.192.in-addr.arpa. It converts it into server.company.com. Next, we have NS, which identifies the DNS server for the zone. For example, if we type at, it automatically converts it into ns1.company.com. For the last one, we have SRV. The purpose of SRV is to use the service of location, especially in AD. For example, if we type underscore IDAP dot underscore TCP dot DC dot MSDS dot domain dot local, it will automatically translate it and go for the location we intended it to go. Next, we have DNS resolution in a Windows Server network. This is a step-by-step process. First, client makes a query. A user or computer tries to access intranet.company.local. The client checks local cache. If not cached, it asks the configured DNS server, usually a domain controller. Server checks the zone. The DNS server checks its authoritative zone like company.local for the record. Next, if the record is found, It will return the IP. If the A or quadruple A record exists, the server sends the IP to the client. If not found locally, the server may use forwarders like external DNS server like 8.8.8.8 or perform root hint resolution. And then it does caching. Once resolved, the server and client cache the result to speed up for future lookups. Next, we have integration with Active Directory. Dynamic DNS, DDNS. When a computer joins a domain, it can automatically register its DNS record. Secure updates, only trusted, authenticated devices can update records, prevents spoofing. Replication. AED integrated zones replicate across all domain controllers, ensuring fault tolerance. Next, apply DNS with Active Directory. How DNS integrates with Active Directory. DNS is essential for Active Directory. Without DNS, domain joins devices will know how to locate domain controllers, which are the backbone of the AD network. Here's why. AD relies on DNS to locate services such as domain controllers, which are DCs, global catalog servers, and Kerberos authentication servers. And also, SRV, service records in DNS tells client where to find these services in the domain. For the second last part, we have applied DNS with Active Directory. DNS role in domain controller location. When a client or computer joins the domain or logs in, first it queries DNS for a special SRV records like underscore idap dot underscore tcp dot dc dot underscore msdcs dot your domain dot local. Then this SRV record points to the hostname and IP of the domain controller. Third, the client contacts the DC to complete login, group policy checks, and etc. Key point, without these DNS SRV records, clients cannot find domain controllers and login or group policy would fail. Last, we have DNS role in replication. In multi-DC environment, domain controllers use DNS to find and communicate with each other. This ensures replication of AD data such as users, groups, GPOs across all sites. DNS must resolve FQDNs of the other DCs for replication over protocols like RPC.
Yeah, I will explain about apply DNS with Active Directory, configuring DNS for Active Directory. First, install DNS server role when promoting a server to a domain controller using DC promo or server manager. It will prompt you to install DNS if it not already installed. Best practice, run DNS on your domain controller. Second one, create or use an add integrated zone. During DC setup, you will usually create a zone like your domain local. It should be add integrated, stored in AD and replicated with it. Allow secure dynamic update so client can auto register. So that configuring DNS for Active Directory. Third, configure forwarders, optional but recommended. Set forwarder in your DNS setting to allow resolution of external domain. Fourth, verify SRV record are created. Look in DNS manager for lookup zone, MSDCS, your domain local. You will find record like Kerberos, TCP, DC, MSDC, your domain local. 5. Configure client to use internal DNS. All domain join client and server should only use your internal DNS server for name resolution. Do not use external DNS server like 8.8.8.8 on client NIC settings, or you will break domain functionality. Okay, next, how DHCP works in Windows Server. DHCP automates IP address assignment to device, so you don't have to manually configure IP setting on every device. Step by step DHCP process. DORA. When a device joins the network, discover, offer, request, acknowledge. Next, how to set up DHCP in Windows Server. First one, install DHCP server role using Server Manager or PowerShell. Second one, create a DHCP scope range of IP like 192.168.1.100 to 192.168.1.200. Third point is set option like default gateway, then server, list duration. For activate the scope, fifth, authorize the DHCP server in Active Directory. Only authorized server can hand out IPs in a domain environment. General DHCP functionality. So for common DHCP issues in Windows Server and fixes, first issue, client not getting IPs. Description, no list is assigned. Solution, make sure DHCP scope is active. Next issue, IP address conflict. Two devices have the same IP. Enable conflict detection in DHCP. Third one is rogue DHCP server. Unauthorized server handing out IPs. Use DHCP audit logs. Okay, next. Scope exhaustion. No free IPs in the pool. So solution, extend the scope range. Next, clients not using DNS correctly. Can't resolve names. Ensure DHCP option 006 is set correctly. Next, DHCP server not authorized. Won't respond to requests in AD domain. In DHCP manager, right click server and click authorize. Okay, next. DHCP configuration standard in Windows Server. Key step to set up and configure DHCP on Windows Server. First one is install the DHCP server role. After install, authorize the DHCP server in Active Directory. Okay, next, key step to set up and configure DHCP on Windows Server. First, configure on the DHCP scope. Second one, a scope define a pool of IP addresses that the DHCP server can assign. Next, key step to set up and configure DHCP on Windows Server. First, setting, purpose, and example. Default gateway option 003, router IP 192.168.1.1. DNS server option 006, usually internal DNS AD 192.168.1.10. List duration, how long IPs are assigned, default 8 days. Okay, third, configure reservation. A reservation ties a specific IP to a MAC address, usually for server, printers, and etc. Ensure critical devices always get the same IP. Set it under DHCP Manager, your scope, reservation, new reservation. Okay, for adjust list duration, set based on environment. So environment and recommended list, stable, 8 days, public Wi-Fi, 1 to 2 hours, short-term guest, 30 minutes to 2 hours. Okay, next, configure failover high availability. DHCP failover options. Setup in the DHCP manager, right-click the scope, and then go to configure failover. Requires two authorized DHCP server. Mode and description. First one, load balance, both server, share request, hot standby. Primary handles traffic, secondary kicks in if it fails. And that's all from us. Thank you.